Hello and welcome. I'm Lindsay Holbrook, school counselor at Centennial High School, and I'm going to take about 10 minutes to talk to you about the PSAT 10 and what to expect. Our established test date is April 6th, Saturday, and we would like our students to arrive for check-in by 7:20 a.m. One of the best things our students and parents can do is sign up for our Remind account for the PSAT 10. I'll be sending helpful reminders leading up to the test day and even the morning of the test so that students can come really prepared and have a great testing opportunity. So you have two options, either the app or by texting the 81010 and then the KAA6D7, and that is all, it is case sensitive, so pay attention to that. Or through the app by downloading it and doing much of the same thing as shown here. Remind is a valuable tool. I love the app itself because students will be able to respond if I do happen to have questions and I need some information from them. But either way, it works for me. So what you need to know. So basically, I'm going to spend the next 10 minutes or so talking about why you're taking the test, what you're being tested on, the benefits, and how it's going to prepare you for something we use a lot in our field called college readiness, scores and the impact of scholarship, how to study, what to do for test day, and then what to expect after test day. So first up, why? I think right now we're doing a great job on our campus of really helping our students understand that these testing opportunities and coming to scholarship presentations and meeting with different college admissions advisors or military is a step in investing in your future. So you're here because you either registered during summer registration by paying a fee, or you did this after when school started. So thank you. I know that parents are aware that this is an investment. It's an opportunity for you to practice. So more than ever before, it's going to encourage you and support you on your path towards college readiness by letting us know and letting you know, are you ready for college? Do you have the skills that are acquired in the areas of reading, writing, and math in particular? So the PSAT itself will provide some insightful information on your individual scores, including your strengths and areas that you'll need to focus on in the future. It'll let us know, are you at the grade level that you need to be? It'll also help us by giving you a predicted SAT score, which is truly the college-bound test that's used for admissions, and also how would this impact your scholarships in the future. And like I said, those progress towards those college readiness benchmarks, and you'll get to see where you compare amongst you and your peers. So I'd like to spend a few moments to talk to you about what is inside the test and what will be measured. So the hope is that these tests are designed that really focus on the skills and knowledge that you're actually learning in high school and what you'll need to succeed in college. 20 years ago, the test had a lot of really just random sort of things and outdated passages and things that weren't really as easy for students, and there were penalties and all kinds of things. So the test has been completely overhauled and modified to hopefully be testing what you're actually learning in high school. So it's going to measure reading, writing and language, and math skills that you've developed over the past several years. So you should expect in math, for example, to not just have Algebra 2, but geometry and maybe even a few Algebra 2 questions thrown in there. The PSAT, it's not going to ask you for facts, which is really nice because it's not expecting you to have memorized, but it's more going to be looking at your reading skills and how you reason and come about the answers. You won't have to do any tricks. I know in the past it was like, how do I become a student that's able to be a really great test taker? Should I be cramming? All of this stuff, you shouldn't have to do that. And nor should you. You should not try to cram leading up the week up to the test. And like I said, in the past, there was a penalty, but no more. So I really encourage you as a test taker to make sure that you answer every single question if possible. And one of the things that we tell students to do is that if you know there's 5 minutes remaining and you have 15 questions, but you're only going to maybe get to 2 or 3, go ahead and pick a letter of the day. It could be like the letter C. And then you make sure that before time is called, you fill out or answer in those multiple choice as much as possible, because at least you have a 25% chance. And the fact is, if you can even eliminate 2 out of the 4 answers, you've got a 50-50 chance. So give it a whirl. In total, the entire test length is 2 hours and 45 minutes. With breaks, it's about 2 hours and 55 minutes. But the total testing time allotted that we give students is 4 hours because of pre-administration activities. And I'll talk a little bit more about that later. So next next here, I want to talk to you about the benefits. So you're going to hear us talking a lot with students about the SAT and the ACT. On our campus, we've been giving our students the ACT through a grant for several years now, at least 11, and your student should expect that as a junior. But the majority of students who are college bound, meaning they want to go to a four-year college or university, take both. And invariably, a student will feel more comfortable with one test or the other, but the PSAT aligns with the SAT. And I know many of our students did take the pre-ACT, something close to almost 200 of our sophomores this year, which is fantastic. So the benefits, we're going to prepare you for the SAT, which will come spring and of your junior year and fall of your senior year. It'll help you by getting you set up with personalized official SAT practice based on your results, and it'll help you focus on what to basically do going forward, areas that you need to improve on, and design a study plan for you utilizing Khan Academy. It'll also let you know where you are with your career planning. Career planning and being ready for college means college readiness. That's essentially what that means. So with taking the test, you'll have an opportunity for schools that might reach back out to you and say, hey, we have a great program in this area that you indicated as a potential major or career interest. And next year, as a junior, we hope that all those students taking the PSAT 10, again, take the PSAT 11, and it could qualify you or give you an opportunity for National Merit Scholarship, which is one of the most coveted recognitions out there. And, it's for the top 1-2% of all test takers. The scholarship itself is minimal, but most schools highly covet National Merit Scholars. It's bragging rights. And then another benefit is based on your scores, we'll get to see which AP courses you might be ready for. And we get something called an AP potential that helps our AP teachers identify students that should be reaching towards and taking AP test. And then finally, you're going to get admission information from different colleges and maybe even some financial aid information based on this test. So these are all the markers that help you become college ready. So how do scores and scholarships kind of work together? Well, I did want to share that last year's data, we had 229 total PSAT 10 takers. Of those, 125 of the 165 that tested improved their scores on the PSAT 11. So that means we had a large majority of testers that did actually better. We had probably about 50, 60 kids that scored right where they were before or slightly below, and some that didn't put any time and preparation in and didn't do any better. The largest score gain that we saw was 440 points, which we were astonished by, and that student earned a 1250 on the PSAT 11, which is a great score. And by the way, for college admissions in the state of Arizona, students need an 1140 for admissions purposes, or a 3.0 core GPA. So most students getting a 3.0 are able to obtain that 1140, but sometimes, it's the scores we want to see, basically 1200 and above, which really help a student. We have 3 students who we believe will be contenders for national merit leading up into their senior years, and they scored a 1450 or above, and the top score on the PSAT, by the way, is a 1520. For the actual SAT, the best score, highest score, perfect score is a 1600. And again, like I said, if you're a national merit contender, you can be and will be sought out by colleges. So test scores, we know they impact scholarships, and we try to tell students consistently that the time you spend on taking these tests is really important because it's a measure of your GPA, your class rank, and test score. And if it makes up 1/3 of the pie, right, and you're spending all these time in classes and learning and taking rigorous curriculum, you should also put in some time to practice and be prepared. So I wanted to give you an example. Right now at ASU, if I have a 3.5 student in their core 16 classes and they have a score of a an 1140, again, that's minimum admissions, they would get a $6,000 scholarship. But a student that increases their score to a 1350 yields an $8,000 scholarship. So over the course of 4 years, student is essentially earning $8 additional thousand based on testing. And maybe they just put in some prep time with Khan Academy. Khan Academy is telling us about 20 hours. They're seeing an increase of over 100 points. So you have that there. A really exciting opportunity upcoming for our students is going to be this College-Bound Opportunity Scholarship. I encourage you to Google it or check it out on College Board's website. Again, College Board Opportunity Scholarship. And it's based on students completing college readiness benchmarks like going and visiting a campus, applying to a college, filling out the FAFSA, which is the free application for federal student aid. And these are all things your student would do in their end of their junior and senior year. Great opportunity to earn scholarships there. And students are connected with scholarship partners based on their test scores here. So we know they matter. We don't want students to also feel poorly when they get that score reported to our high school as well as colleges when they didn't do as well. And in fact, we've had a lot of students need scores for athletic eligibility for the NCAA and also scholarship offers there. So something to think about. I want to cover how you should approach studying. So you will be getting a student guide, and it is really important that you open it up and you take a look at it. And it does have a practice exam in there. It does talk about how and what to expect of the test. So that's step one. Please open that guide. That's why we're spending all this time trying to get it to you well in advance and give you about a month to really prepare. Step two, I'd like you to access SAT practice through the Khan Academy. There's a great opportunity in there for you. Khan Academy has a total plan that they have set up, that they have researched. There's videos, tutorials, different things for you to achieve to show that you're ready. And you might want to focus on an area where maybe you don't have great strength, maybe math, who knows. Step three, consider YouTube. I've had a lot of students come back and tell me that they've gone and found math tutorial and practice, and it has really helped them. Another thing you can do is you can download an app on your phone. There's an example right there of a picture with the PSAT. That is one of them. And they will do like, word of the day and things like that to sort of get you prepared. Step four, collegeboard.org. Great resource. This is where the PSAT comes from. They have a PSAT 10 link and a place where you can find practice and take other full-length practice tests if you want that practice. Finally, step five, set up a study goal, 1 to 2 hours per week. It's pretty minimal. Time yourself on a full-length practice test. See how you do with the time portion of the test. A lot of times, that's the trickiest piece for students, is that they run out of time. So I encourage you to practice that timing of the test. And also know the rules. Know how it'll be scored. Know, they have easy, medium, difficult questions. They all have the same value. So don't get too belabored by staying on one question that has the same value as maybe the next one that could be a lot easier and you could get points and answer correctly. And you got to get a good night's rest leading up to test day. That can never be understated because you're going to be sitting in a desk for nearly 4 hours of time with a couple breaks in there. You need to be prepared. So test day. Like I said before, it's going to be April 6th, Saturday. We've chosen a Saturday intentionally. That is because the majority of our testing opportunities for students is on a Saturday. We are a testing location for SAT, and in fact, we're giving one just this Saturday, and students have to come on a Saturday. So it's great. You won't be missing classes or missing lunch, and it just works out better for our students to be able to practice like it'll actually happen for the real event. We'd like our students to arrive no later than 7:20 for check-in. We're going to begin testing shortly thereafter, so it's important that you're here by 7:20. You're required to bring an admission ticket, which you're being given today, along with a photo ID, which could be your driver's license, current year school ID, or even a driver's permit. That would be fine, or a passport if you have one of those. But they are required for testing. Non-negotiable. You got to have it. You must also bring your own number 2 wood pencils. Mechanical pencils won't work on the Scantrons and can lead to errors, so it's important that you prepare and bring pencils. Calculator, your student guide will tell you what's approved, so look at that. Water and snacks, you can consume them outside of the testing room during breaks, but not during the test. Can't bring coffee or anything like that. You'll have to consume that before you enter into the testing room. And of course, no phones are allowed. So we'd like you to leave them at home. That includes any kind of electronic device that's going to make a beep, ding, anything like that. You're asked to leave them. And if you're worried about how do I call my folks and let them know I need them to pick me up because I'm not driving yet, we've got phones in every single classroom on campus, and I will be the test supervisor in the library, and you're welcome to use the phone at that time. So please leave your phones at home. That is the expectation for tests. I want to take just a moment for students to understand what the PSAT 10 includes. When you arrive at 7:20 and check into your room, the proctor will begin by doing some pre-administration activities, which could take 45 minutes to an hour. It'll include bubbling of demographic information like your name, address, things like that. And then you're going to get started with the test. So you're going to have 60 minutes for reading, 35 minutes for writing and language, and it'll be multi-paragraph passages and multiple choice questions. And then you'll do math as well, 2 portions, one with calculator, one without, 25 minutes with no calculator and 45 minutes with a calculator, knowing that any of the problems can be solved without a calculator, but obviously it would take you a little bit more time. And as I mentioned earlier, total sections with breaks is 2 hours and 55 minutes. Total time of test is close to 3 hours and like 45 minutes, 4 hours. Again, depending on the pace of the group, kids getting back from break, etc. We expect testing to conclude between 11:40 a.m. and 12:10 p.m. on that day. So plan to come into that window if you let your parents know if you need to get picked up, or parents if that's the time to expect to come and retrieve your student from our campus. After the test, if you did provide an email address, you will be receiving information from the College Board about scores and opportunities for college search and scholarships. So make sure you follow up with that if that's important to you. And we're not really sure when scores will come back to us. If it's by the end of the school year, we'll give them back to you for future study along with your actual test booklet. But if they arrive in the summertime, we might not be able to give them back to you until August. Students are encouraged again to sign up for the PSAT 11 through the summer registration fees paid to the bookstore. It's another practice, but it brings you closer and closer to being college bound and utilizing these results to do better next time. So that's all I have for you. Thank you so much for your time and attention, and we look forward to seeing you on test day, and best of luck.